Well, we have talked a lot about mental health on this show and all over our newscasts, especially when it comes to our schools. This fall, the University of Iowa's Sacklin Center for the School of Mental Health is taking a stand by launching something brand new for the state of Iowa. It's a new mental health training fellowship, and they've got 100 paraeducators from across the state enrolled. Here to chat about all of this is Carrie Vogel-G-Sang, the Director of Professional Development for the Sacklin Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
All right, Carrie, talk to me about what this fellowship will equip paraeducators with.
Yeah, the training is an evidence-informed curriculum that's designed to improve the knowledge, skills, and attitudes about mental health. It's a curriculum that we're calling Best Well that I co-authored and designed with 3 of my colleagues here at the university. And we created it to increase a person's or an educator's understanding about how to broach mental health concerns with students, how to enhance empathic communication and build healthy relationships with students, how to develop skills in identifying signs of trauma or suicide, understanding how to triage mental health concerns, and how to do a warm handoff with a mental health professional, and finally how to develop strategies for caring for themselves and their own mental health and well-being.
You know, that is a lot that you just mentioned, so I've got to ask, how intense is this training, or how long is this fellowship?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. We spent a couple months with them. There are 3 in-person trainings and then 5 online modules, along with some video skill practicing that we have them engage with, and some assessments that we have them do. They will have access to a lot of the skill development materials and videos all throughout the spring semester as well.
I just can't get over how powerful it is to think about 100 different people from across the state in our schools learning all of this. But of course, not all of this doesn't come for free. Let's talk about the money in all of this. Where is that coming from?
Yeah, so we have a really great partnership with the Iowa Department of Education, and we received some funding to support this particular initiative and to increase the mental health awareness and training for paraeducators across the state.
So is it the paraeducators themselves? Do they have to pay for this at all?
No, this is what the funding goes to the paraeducators in the school district to help provide substitutes for the teachers or the paraeducators when they are in training, and also when they're doing their online modules and learning. So the funds that we're receiving from the Department of Education is funding the project.
So what is the ultimate goal with all of this? Or how I should say this, how will students be impacted across Iowa?
Right. Well, the ultimate goal is to increase the mental health literacy and also the well-being of our education specialists. Our education specialists are oftentimes working with some of our students with the highest needs, who are typically carrying some of the heaviest burdens and managing some really high-level challenges such as housing instability, food insecurity, some home life difficulties, and it oftentimes impacts their learning and behaviors that we see at school. So we're really hoping that we're giving the paraeducators the tools and the skills that they need to work closely and in a healthy way with the students that they're serving.
Wow, Carrie, this sounds absolutely incredible. And they just had their first in-person training, is that right?
They've actually completed 2 of their in-person trainings. Our next in-person training is on December 1st in Des Moines. But from now until then, they are working through modules and through skill setter videos to prepare them for their final in-person training.
Wow. Well, we cannot thank you enough for your time here with us. I just think this is so important.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Here in our hometowns, the program accepted 4 paraeducators each from Bettendorf, Clinton, Muscatine, and Eldridge. And you'll want to stick around because coming up in our second half hour, in just about 30 minutes, we'll welcome 2 of those paras right here into our studios for a closer look at how this program will impact your students. Well, like we mentioned in our first half hour, the University of Iowa is launching a first-of-its-kind fellowship dedicated to student mental health across the state. The university is training 100 paraeducators from across Iowa's school districts with skills in mental health literacy, relationship-building practices, suicide screening, crisis response, and a whole lot more. Locally, 4 paras each from Muscatine, Clinton, Eldridge, and Bettendorf were chosen, and 2 of those paras paraeducators are joining us right here in studio. Melissa Hart and Deb Oliveira with Bettendorf School District. Guys, thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you, Shelby.
Okay, I have to ask, what made you want to sign up for this fellowship in the first place?
Well, this is the first opportunity of its kind for the paras. So, and for us, especially for me as a behavior interventionist, is something that I use daily. So having the opportunity to learn more about mental health and learning real approaches to actually put in our daily routine is something very important for us, and also for us as human beings to learn more about mental health and how can we be the best support for our students.
You know, like we talked about earlier, you guys have a couple in-person things you had to go to Des Moines for, you do a lot of modules online. I mean, it's not a small time commitment. What are you seeing in your schools that made you think this is important?
Well, this is something very that researchers are talking about it. It's important for the kids to have a relationship of trust, so they can have a better learning. So helping them developing social emotionally, developing their mental health. This is something that is going to be helping their developing academically too.
So now you guys are tasked with taking these lessons you've learned through this fellowship and then dispersing it out through the district, through people you work with. I mean, what's that going to look like?
This is something that we're really excited to be bringing back to our colleagues, fellow paraeducators within the school district. The plan going forward is to meet with our district administration, collaborate, come up with professional development in order to deliver it to everybody.
And I don't think I said at the top, can you guys both say which level of students you work with?
I work at the Bettendorf Middle School.
And I work elementary.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, do you see an even more or an even greater need with some of those younger students? I feel like so much emphasis is placed on high schools when it comes to mental health in students.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Especially with regulation, self-regulation, self-control, knowing their feelings and naming their feelings, what they are going through. This has been helping a lot.
Okay, so you've had your first 2 trainings. You were talking to me during commercial break. I mean, how have they been going?
They've been fantastic.
Yes.
And looking ahead, we have another big module coming up that's going to focus on educator wellness, which I think is equally as important. We can't be our best selves if we're not taking care of ourselves. So that's the next phase that we're looking forward to.
You know, if you were able to talk with parents, I mean, in the Bettendorf School District where you both work, what would you tell them about what you hope this does for their students?
I think will help us with a relationship of trust and for kids to be safe at school. I think this is the best thing. They're feeling safe, that they are there because their want is there, and we are there for them to be their trusted adult.
Before I let you guys go, really quickly, do you have something in your training so far that you've been just so happy to learn it, or something that's favorite of yours to learn so far?
I think just opening up an invitation to talk to a student.
Yes.
You'd be amazed at how much they simply just want somebody to talk to.
Wow. Well, ladies, how much longer do you have your training? When does it go till?
We have one more in-person training on December 1st, and then we should be wrapping up our final 2 modules, so hopefully we'll be done around the holidays.
Wow. Well, best of luck as you finish this final push. This is super important work. I can't thank you enough for your time.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.